Welcome to this revision batch of CS Professional for the postponed June 21 exams. Even though June 21 exams are postponed, our efforts should not be postponed efforts. Our efforts should be on the dot. So, to give that strong message, to leave that strong message, we are taking this batch at the desired and at the defined time. So, here is 6th May, Thursday, and we are starting this batch. I'm sharing the screen with you and not beating around the bush. Is the properly shared screen visible to you all? Yes, it is visible. Can you see today's message? Daily, I'm going to give you one message on this desktop. Today's message is, if you want to surpass your own expectations, remember to surpass your efforts and enthusiasm. Isn't it? We always want to surpass our expectations. But what about our efforts and enthusiasm? When we surpass our own efforts and enthusiasm, don't you think that our expectations will be automatically surpassed? Everyone wants first part of the comma. Everyone wants first part of the comma. Everyone wants to surpass the expectations, but most of you forget about efforts and enthusiasm. So now this revision batch is all about that. It is all about surpassing your own efforts and enthusiasm. Correct? So with on this good note, we will start this revision batch. What I want to tell you is, listen properly. What I want to tell you is, if you have studied tax till now and your studies is complete entirely, then congratulations. This will be literally a revision batch for you. If you are still under the process of studies but still attending this revision batch, still it will be helpful for you. Why? Because on this foundation, you can study more and more, go deep in the subject. So here I am starting this revision batch. Okay. Listen, I hope you're sitting properly with notebook, pen, pencil, scale, calculator, and bright mind. Just let me quickly know yes, no in the chat window. Yes, sir. Fantastic. Chalo. And yes, your one hand should be on the keyboard also. Even if you don't type entire yes, it is okay. You can just type Y, N. When you are done anything, you can say D. So we can use these short forms. I can understand at all the times, typing full reply will be tedious for you. Fantastic. Understand. I've put up all the things here. So someone would be totally new to me. So for them, I would like to tell you, my name is CA Pratik Neve, and I'm of course tax faculty. As you can see, I'm founder of this academy called as Zest Learning. I have recently authored 2 books for taxmen. One is for CS professional level, one is for CS executive level, and soon coming up with some more titles. I'm teaching from past 11 years. My journey in teaching started from year 2009. Okay, so I would say completed 11 years and ongoing successfully, I would say, trying to guide as many students as possible. Okay, especially my love has been for teaching CS professional students. Why? Because they hate the subject of tax and I love the subject of tax. So I try to guide them in that subject to the extent possible. Okay, in straightforward words, I have given you my introduction. Okay, so I don't say all of you hate subject of tax, but most of you. And I try to, minimize that gap between your, what you can say, hating the subject. I try to bring towards loving the subject, isn't it? When you love anything, when you have passion towards that thing, automatically, getting marks and all is just a formality. Okay, so see what I'm telling you. This is a batch of 8 sessions. As you all know, this is batch of 8 sessions into 3 hours daily. So how are we going to go about it? I've put the date here, I've put the session number here, and topics to be covered. Session 1 will be taxation of companies. That is today's session. It will be on 6th of, I've put the date as 6/6. It should be 6/5. I went in the month of June. Sorry, it should be May. Okay, so let us go, read it. On 9th, you can see 2 sessions. 9th is Sunday, isn't it? So there are 2 sessions on Sunday. One is on tax planning, management, avoidance, evasion, and specified transactions. Okay. And wait 1 minute. Yes. My video is also stopped. Is that okay? Will you focus on my audio? Yes. Because, net issues. So I don't want that, syncing not happening between video audio. Whatever it is, let us keep it to the best. Okay. Session 1, taxation of companies, including all the amendments you will see today. Session 2, assessment of firms plus alternate minimum tax. Session 3 and 4 on 9th May, we will be completing overall income tax in this 4 sessions. Clear? Mansi, for your CMA exams, that will help you also. It might help you also for your CMA exams. Then session 5, which will be on 10th May, you will be asking a question, sir, why no session on 8th May? Anyone knows why no session on 8th May? Anyone knows why no session on 8th May? No. Okay. 8th May is, no, not doubt solving. On 8th May, we are going to start with one series of sessions. No. We are going to start with one series of sessions that is for your theory subjects. We are going to have session by Dhanashri ma'am on 8th of May, which is evening 7 to 8. So why have I selected that day only? Because that is my dad's birthday and I want to start something good on that day. So we are introducing Dhanashri ma'am. Till now, she has been conducting test series and all these things and personal counseling she was doing. Now, for the first time, she'll be holding one session for all of you together. Correct? So I invite all of you for that. I will share the link on our WhatsApp groups. Correct? So you can ask your questions. We have kept that session as question answers. So you will be asking your question. I'll be mediator. I'll be asking her those questions live and she will be answering them. So it could be on any of the theory papers. Correct? Getting it? Then that's why you cannot see any tax session on 8th of May. I hope things are clear. Any doubt, please let me know. Then 10th May will be basics of GST, valuation under GST, place of supply, scope of supply, and exemptions under GST. That will be on 10th of May. Okay, and of course, now how can we cover so many things on 10th of May? Very simple. We have already done valuation rules of GST, isn't it? So for that, you have to refer to the recordings. Scope of supply and exemptions under GST, already done and provided in the drive. Clear? 6th session will be on ITC under GST. 7th session will be registration under GST, documents, refund, and GST compensation to state act. And last session will be on customs. In that customs, how can we cover entire customs in 3 hours? Because we have already done valuation under customs. Are the points, is the schedule clear? Can I go ahead? Valuation part is in which session? One of the student is asking, may I know which valuation are we talking about? If you're talking about GST valuation, it is in session 5. If you're talking about customs valuation, it is in session 8. Correct? So main batch students, so no problem. It is there in the main batch recordings. For revision batch students, whichever revision batch recording we have provided you, in that folder, we have provided you the sessions which we have put in the bracket. Is the point very clear to all of you? Let me know in the chat window any doubt that you have. First 15-16 minutes of the batch I had dedicated for that. Now I'll be starting with technically taxation of companies. Correct? Yes. What pattern we are going to follow? Simple pattern we are going to follow. Daily, whatever we take in the batch, I repeat, daily, whatever we take in the batch, you are going to get Excel sheet of that on your WhatsApp group immediately after the batch is done. Getting the point? So do I need to write anything in the book? Answer is no. At the time of batch, no. So that for main batch students, so main batch students may not write it at any point of time if they feel that it is repetition from the main batch, and those who have joined revision batch exclusively afterwards should complete the notebook. Getting it? So only revision batch students, can you say me in the chat window so that I understand who are they? Yes, so Rucha, Veena, Sachi. What you should do, have you understood? You should, after the batch, complete the notebook. After the batch means maybe that day's batch or after the entire 13 days or 8 days. Correct? You should take that decision and complete the book. If you complete notebook, the results that you will get will be different. Okay, it will be very good, it will be effective. Fine. So let us see now, what are we talking about? We are talking about taxation of companies. Sir, will you upload this session on G Drive? Who is that student? May I know? I am repeating, each and every session of revision batch gets uploaded on the Google Drive. Let it be main batch, let it be revision batch. Of both the Google Drives, it gets uploaded. Clear? Any doubt in this? Every session that we take gets uploaded on the G Drive. Have I made myself clear? That's why we have put every session on recording as well. Does that mean that you have to avoid watching live? No, you should watch live because you can immediately get your doubts clarified, and along with me, you will complete the batch on 13th of May. Okay, have I solved your doubt? Can we go ahead? So, taxation of companies. First of all, what we have to study is MAT. Pay attention, all of you. That 86229012215 user ID, you have not said whether your doubt got resolved or not. Okay, you're not saying anything. I'll assume that it is resolved. So first thing we have to learn is MAT. In this taxation of companies, first thing we are learning is MAT, which is given in section 115 JB of the Income Tax Act. In this MAT, what we should remember, understand. So you have to calculate normal tax and you have to compute MAT and you have to pay whichever is higher. Can you recollect this, all of you? Yes. So MAT stands for minimum alternate tax. That minimum alternate tax is to be computed at 15%. It is to be computed at 15% plus surcharge if applicable, plus health and education cess at the rate of 4%. Clear? You will pay normal tax or you will pay MAT, whichever is higher. Did you get it? How to calculate normal tax? Normal tax will be computed on total income. Normal tax will be computed on total income. What is total income? Total income is sum of all 5 heads of income. 5 heads of income: salary, house property, PGBP, capital gain, income from other sources. Of course, company cannot have salary income. So those other four heads you have to take. You have to calculate gross total income less deductions of chapter 6A and you get total income. On that total income, you compute tax as per normal provisions. Now, my dear friends, what is tax as per normal provisions for company? So it is at 25%. Rate of tax for company is 25%. Okay, mind you, if in financial year or you can say previous year 18-19 turnover, if it exceeds 400 crores, then the tax will be calculated at 30%. So did you get play between 30% and 25%? Okay, turnover in 18-19, if it is exceeding 400 crores, then the tax is at 30%. But if any other case, tax is at 25%. Okay. Plus you have to add surcharge. Surcharge is added if the total income, if total income exceeds rupees 1 crore, but does not exceed 10 crores, it is at 7%. And if total income is exceeding 10 crores, then surcharge is directly at 12%. So how to keep this in mind? Understand. Very simple. How to keep this in mind? Total income, if exceeds 10 crore, surcharge is at 12%. But if total income is between 1 crore to 10 crores, then surcharge is at a concessional rate of 7%. Got the point? And then on the subtotal, you should calculate health and education cess at the rate of 4%. So this way you got normal tax. Now you compute book profits. Your question will be, but what is book profits? So how to compute book profits? We are going to go in depth of that. Then you calculate MAT. MAT is at the rate of, as discussed, 15% plus surcharge if applicable. It is based on book profits. Now, if book profit exceeds 1 crore but does not exceed 10 crore, then 7%. And if book profit exceeds 10 crore, then 12%. And tax liability will be higher of tax under step 2 and step 4. So is prima facie calculation of tax liability clear to all of you? How many total steps? Total 5 steps. Correct. Compute total income, tax on total income, book profit, MAT on book profit. Pay tax on total income or MAT on book profit, whichever is higher. Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, what is MAT credit? What will happen, you know, if what happens if sometimes you will have to pay MAT, that means government is charging extra tax from you. If they're asking you to pay MAT, government is charging extra tax from you than normal tax. Yes or no? So in such scenarios, government cannot keep that extra tax with them permanently. So government says that you as an assessee can take MAT credit. What is the meaning of MAT credit? MAT credit means whatever extra tax you have paid to the government in the form of MAT, that extra tax amount is called as MAT credit, and that can be carried forward. For how many years it can be carried forward? It can be carried forward for 15 assessment years. Yes. And mind you, it will be utilized in that PY in which normal tax is greater than MAT. So what happens? In this year, your normal tax in PY 2021. Why PY 2021 I am considering? Because applicable AY for your exam is 21-22. So I'll be giving you all examples for PY 2021 that is relevant to AY 21-22. Okay. What I want to tell you is that suppose your MAT liability is 15 lakh rupees and your normal tax liability is 10 lakh rupees in the PY 2021. Then what is the tax payable? Then my dear friends, what is the tax payable? Then tax payable is 15 lakhs. Now tell me, in this scenario, what is the MAT credit? In this scenario, MAT credit is 5 lakhs. Very good. Now what happens? Next year, pay attention properly. Next year, MAT liability is 18 lakhs and normal tax liability is 12 lakhs. Now again, what is the MAT credit? Now again, what is the MAT credit? 6 lakhs. So what is total MAT credit with you now? Total MAT credit with you now is 11 lakhs. Now suppose, pay attention properly, in next year, normal tax liability is 30 lakhs. Normal tax liability is 30 lakhs and MAT is 20 lakhs. So how much is the tax payable? Now tax payable is 30 lakhs. But it is normal tax or MAT? It is normal tax. So normal tax is higher than MAT. Now you have to pay 30 lakhs. To pay this 30 lakhs, you can use MAT credit. Of how much MAT credit you will use? You will use MAT credit of rupees 10 lakhs. Don't lose the focus. Why 10 lakhs? What is your MAT liability in this case? Your MAT liability in this case is 20 lakhs. So compulsorily 20 lakhs has to be paid in cash. So how much MAT credit you had? You had MAT credit of 11 lakhs. Out of that, you can use how much? You can use 10 lakhs. Fantastic. You can use 10 lakhs. So how much MAT credit will be carried forward? MAT credit to be carried forward would be 1 lakh rupees. Fantastic. For how many years this 1 lakh can be carried forward? It can be carried forward for next 15 years, assuming that it is of current year. Because of the current year, you will use last. So you will go by FIFO method. Okay, first which you had, you will use that first. Of the earlier year, you will use first, isn't it? So the one which you can carry forward will be of the latest year. So it will be carried forward for next 15 years. Okay, fantastic. So this is about MAT credit. Now, my question is how to compute book profits. We have seen that the MAT is on book profits. So can I tell you how to compute book profits? Yes. So see, you will start with net profit as per statement of profit and loss, which is prepared as per provisions of Companies Act. That is the start point. You should try and make all adjustments as given by explanation 1 to section 115 JB. What is this explanation 1 to section 115 JB? Understand. This is actually the conservatism of income tax. Meaning to say, if unnecessarily many things are debited in P&L account, which are not actual expenses, then profit has gone down. Yes or no? How to increase that profit? By asking them to add back. So what all is to be added back? One, income tax. So income tax is an expense or income tax is a division of profit? Income tax is a division of profit. So to that extent, NP should not have gone down, but NP has gone down. So what will you do? You will add income tax, including interest on income tax, surcharge, health and education cess, provision for income tax. Amount carried to reserves. From where do you carry the amount to the reserves? You carry the amount to the reserves from your profits. So it also should be added back. It is not an expense, it is division of profit. What else you should add? Provision for unascertained liabilities. Liabilities which are not ascertainable, such for them, whatever is the provision that you will add. Then provision for losses of subsidiary companies. It is not actual loss, it is just a provision. Dividends, including proposed dividends. Why you should add that? Because that is not actually expense, it is just a division of profit. Yes, appropriation of profit, right? Expenditure relating to exempt incomes, because you want to nullify the effect of exempt income. Example, understand, if agricultural income is there on the credit side, you know agricultural income is exempt. Yes or no? They are going to ask you to minus that agricultural income while calculating book profits. Got the point? So if there is an expense on that to earn that agriculture income, 2 lakh rupees, and agriculture income was 10 lakh rupees. So how much is the effect on the NP of that agriculture income? In short, what is the net agriculture income? 8 lakh rupees, correct. So you should actually subtract 8 lakh rupees. Yes or no? To the extent of 8 lakh rupees, profit is on the higher side, but they are telling you to give that effect one by one. First, you will add back. First, you will add back that 2 lakh rupees. Then afterwards, you will minus 10 lakh rupees. So net effect will be of subtracting 8 lakh rupees. Got the point? Very good. All smart students. Next, depreciation debited. Depreciation debited full amount you have to add. Okay, this might be according to Income Tax Act also. I don't know, but whatever is debited, you have to add. Why you have to add that? Why you have to add that? Because while subtracting, you have to subtract. Tell me, while subtracting, which figure you'll have to subtract? This is the most tricky point and most commonly asked point in the exam. No, not because it is non-cash that you have to add it. That is not correct. So this is very commonly misunderstood point and also important point. No, not because it is separately covered. Understand. Depreciation, yes, very good. While subtracting, no, Archana, it is not related to SLM and all. Only Meghna and Nishi have given the correct answers. Very good. While subtracting, you have to subtract depreciation, excluding depreciation on revaluation of assets. Listen to the example properly. There is one asset. Of that asset, original value is 50 lakh rupees. What is the original value of the asset? 50 lakh rupees. And it is revalued to the extent of 30. It is revalued by 30 lakhs. It is revalued by 30 lakhs. So what is the new cost of the asset? What is the new cost of the asset? New cost means new book value of the asset is 80 lakhs. Depreciation is supposed taken at 10% of 80 lakhs. So what is the depreciation debited? Depreciation is supposed taken at 10% of 80 lakhs. So depreciation debited is 8 lakh. But excluding revaluation, what should have been the depreciation? Excluding revaluation, the depreciation would have been only on 50 lakhs. So depreciation would have been 5 lakhs. Now my question to you is very simple. How much extra depreciation we have debited? How much extra depreciation we have debited? Yes, 3 lakh rupees. This is not accepted while calculating book profits. So what are they telling us? They are telling us to add back 8 and subtract. Yes, friends, add back 8 and subtract 5. Exactly, Uma, not 3. Subtract 5. So net effect will be of 3. Did you understand? I'm reading everyone's answer. Don't think I'm not reading. My one eye is on the chat window. Very good. Fantastic. I hope you understood it. It is most common adjustment. You cannot make mistake in that. Then you will add back deferred tax amount if debited. Deferred tax amount is nothing but it is a deferred tax amount is nothing but yes, it is a non-cash item. So you have to add it back. Then provision for diminution in value of any asset. Example I have given you, provision for bad debts. So once you add all these things, you're going to take subtotal, means total of additions here. NP plus additions will give you subtotal. From that, now you go to minus items. Already I have discussed with you exempt income item. Yes or no? Exempt income already discussed with you. That you have to minus. You have to also minus depreciation. Excluding depreciation on revaluation of assets. And you have to minus deferred tax. Again, it is non-cash. Hence, if you have credited it, you have to minus it. Then amount withdrawn from reserve, you'll have to minus. Because that is not your income at all. It is just withdrawn from reserves and put on the credit side. Minus it. Also minus brought forward loss or unabsorbed depreciation as per books of accounts, whichever is less. Did you understand? Now take total of less and you're going to get subtotal minus this less items. That is going to give you book profits. Did you understand how to get book profits? Now this item is very important. I'm marking all the important items. One, this. Second, this depreciation. Third, this. Fourth, now in additions, what all is important? Depreciation. Very important. Then what else is important? Income tax is important. That doesn't mean you will not do the other items. but just telling you the most important ones. Is it very clear to all of you what I'm discussing? What you are talking about, tax excluding GST, I'm not getting that. Depreciation under section 132, I don't know that. Are you talking about 132 of Companies Act? I am saying that we are talking about depreciation debited in P&L account that you have to add, and then depreciation which we have to minus. You have already understood that. Chalo, any doubt? So let's keep it simple, na? The simple things, let try to keep it as simple as possible. So only two problems, whether I have solved them, I don't know. Someone is talking about excluding GST and someone is talking about 132. Okay, I hope they have been solved. If not, you please let me know what doubt you are facing. Then, example. This example is from CA final module. It is all inclusive example, fantastic example. Okay. So what type of method we are going to follow is, please understand. I hope all of you are sitting with calces. Yes, no? Yes, you are sitting with calces. So again, that GST wala point, someone is saying, what? I'm not getting it. Can you again copy paste that point of GST? It has gone from this window because many students replied after that. No? Oh, I'm not getting what you are saying, huh? Excluding GST and all. I'm still not getting that. But where is the GST point? But you are saying that mark that important and all. But where is the GST point here? Nowhere I have written GST only. Okay, you afterwards explain me on the WhatsApp group or WhatsApp personal. Fine. Let's see the example. A domestic company, ABC Limited, furnishes following particulars in respect of assessment year 21-22 and seeks your opinion on application of section 115 JB. You are required to compute total income and tax payable. Profit as per statement of profit and loss prepared as per provisions of Companies Act is 215 lakhs. Statement of profit and loss includes, check what all it includes. Depreciation allowable as per income tax rules is 150 lakhs. Short-term capital gains on sale of land mentioned above as computed as per income tax act is 40 lakhs. Losses brought forward as per books of accounts and as per income tax act are given. Where business loss is given, unabsorbed depreciation is given. Okay. Okay. These both are common, huh? I think as per books of accounts as well as per income tax act. You will have to deal with the issue assuming that ABC Limited is not required to comply with Indian accounting standards. That's fine. Ignore provisions of section 115 BAA. You are going to see at the in this session what is 115 BAA also. So you have to ignore that. The turnover of ABC Limited during PY 18-19 was 390 crores. What does this point tell you? Why this point is given? This point is given so that normal take rate of tax you will take as 25%. Yes, very good. And not 30%. Now, my first question to you is, what is book profit in this case? If from this same data, I can ask multiple questions to you. One question I can ask you, what is book profit? Second question I can ask you is, What is MAT payable? Third question I can ask you is, what is final tax liability of the company? Isn't it? So you have to check in the exam that what exactly is asked. Yes or no? I have seen many times students directly go and solve the entire question doing all the 5 steps. But if I just ask you book profits, you have to do only step 1, means actually step 3, that is computation of book profits. And if I ask you MAT, you have to just take 15% of that plus surcharge if applicable, plus health and education cess, isn't it? Yes. So I am first asking you, what is book profit in this case? So take on your calci 215. In exam, remember to write the proper presentation. And you must have made a table or chart, and you must have written figures in rupees in crore, lakhs. Yes or no? You should write that scale. All figures rupees in lakhs. Yes. Take on your calci 215. Okay. Let's search for the add items first. Statement of profit and loss includes debits. Credits to know. Let's check debits. Depreciation on SLM basis. Anyways, depreciation you will add back because it is according to the books. Provision for loss of subsidiary companies. What will you do? Again, you will add back. Okay. Don't do anything with respect to depreciation as per Income Tax Act. Don't do anything. You cannot see depreciation on revaluation. So you will assume that there is no depreciation on revaluation. So please minus depreciation as it is. I hope you are doing it. 215 plus 100 plus 60 minus 100. Dividend from Indian companies. You will not do anything. This is your income. Yes or no? Dividend is your income. This becomes very important point from the exam perspective. Is dividend received taxable or exempt? Dividend received is now taxable. It is now taxable in the hands of company itself. So you will continue with that. You will not minus it. Till last year, we used to minus it because dividend received from domestic companies used to be exempt. So this is very important point. On that, you will not do any adjustment. Excess realized on sale of land held as investment. This is a capital gain, but you will not do anything. Is it said that capital gain you should minus while computing book profits? No, it is not said like that. So don't do anything. Now we come to the point where brought forward loss and unabsorbed depreciation is given. What will you do? Out of these two, whichever is less, you will minus. So which is less? 50 lakhs. So minus that 50 lakhs. And if you are keeping the track of it, can you tell me what is the book profits? If you're doing all, yes, you're getting 225 as answer. We'll have to check in step number 3. Yes, fantastic. 225 is the answer. Step number 3, that is book profits. That's what I have asked you first, isn't it? Because why did I ask that first to you? It is the most common question asked in CS exams, that they will give you some figures and they will ask you to compute book profits. So isn't it 225? Yes. See the presentation here. Nicely we have presented it. Computation of book profits as per section 115 JB of Income Tax Act. Particulars. Amount rupees in lakhs. Is the point very clear to all of you? Two amount columns we have made. NP we have taken here 215. Add items as per explanation 1 to section 115 JB. A, provision for loss of subsidiary companies. B, depreciation debited. Total is 160. Now we have taken subtotal, which is 375. Less, again, items as per explanation 1 to section 115 JB. Again, depreciation debited excluding depreciation on revaluation. It is assumed same as no information. So it will not be there. No? So they have not given separately. So 100. And business loss as per books, which is less than unabsorbed depreciation, 50. So 150 you have subtracted. And finally, you have got book profits as 225. Is the point very clear to all of you? Yes. In my opinion, most important note here is this. Wait. Note I have not written only. But most important thing was that no adjustment of dividend is to be made because no longer dividend is exempt. So have mainly the only revision batch students noted that point. So I would like to insert that note for you all. So it remains with you. While computing book profits for the purpose of MAT, no adjustment is required with respect to dividend received from domestic companies with respect to dividend received from domestic companies as dividend received is no longer exempt under section 1034 with effect from assessment year. Very important amendment with effect from assessment year 21-22. So you know, my dear friends, you always saying to me that cover amendments, but amendments could not be covered directly. Means only telling you this amendment wouldn't have any importance unless you understand its effect. Do you agree with me? Yes. Of course, many other things you will learn about amendments with respect to taxation of companies in this session. So by end of the session, you are going to become expert in that. Okay, let us go ahead. Now calculate MAT on that 225. How will you calculate MAT on that 225? Understand. MAT is at 15% of 2 crore 25 lakhs. So take on your calci 2 crore 25 lakhs into 15%. Is it 33 lakh 75,000? You will add surcharge at 7%. Why 7%? 7% because you can observe book profit is exceeding 1 CR but not exceeding 10 CR. So calculate 7% of rupees 33 lakh 75,000. Isn't it? So now take the subtotal. Subtotal comes to 36 lakh 11,250. add health and education cess at the rate of 4%. So now you get total MAT. Mind you, it is 4% of what? It is 4% of rupees 36 lakh 11,250. So this is your final answer. Did you understand? Shall we go ahead? So this is common question asked in your exam, book profit, or they can ask you MAT. If, my dear friends, on exceptional basis, they ask you compute tax liability, final tax liability, then you'll have to also calculate total income. So how to compute total income in this case that I have given you? How to compute total income in this case that I have given you? Check. You will start with NP. Now, for calculating total income, you'll have to consider heads of income. The first head of income this company has, company cannot have salary. There is no HP income. So first head this company will have is PGBP. Yes or no? Yes. So NP is 215 lakhs. Add expenses which are debited but not allowed as deductions. So, or specific disallowances that you add always. So what are you going to add? Depreciation debited. But what will you minus? You will minus depreciation as per Income Tax Act. Yes, so see this, depreciation debited here, and here you will have in the minus depreciation as per Income Tax Act. Is this point clear? Then provision for loss of subsidiary companies, you will add. So now total of additions is 160, subtotal is 375. Mind you, you are subtracting dividend here. Why you are subtracting dividend here? I have given you the logic. Because it will be taxable under the head IOS and not PGBP. Capital gain on sale of land, you will minus. Yes or no? What was credited to P&L account? See this, 30 was credited to P&L account. You will minus, it is not taxable under the head PGBP. So you will get subtotal as 200. Okay, and after subtracting this depreciation, you will get, you have not calculated that. You will also minus brought forward business loss and unabsorbed depreciation as per Income Tax Act. You can minus both. Do you know that? You can minus both to get your PGBP. Are you getting it? You can minus both to get your PGBP. And see, what they had given you here was, read the sentence properly. Losses brought forward as per books of accounts and as per Income Tax Act. So they were same as per books of accounts and as per Income Tax Act. Got it? So you can, of course, as per Income Tax Act, you can subtract both. So you have taken both into consideration. And finally, PGBP that you get is 65. But is that the only head of income? Is PGBP the only head of income? No. You have got capital gain. They have given you here that short-term capital gain is 40 lakh rupees. So as per Income Tax Act, it is 40 lakh rupees. So you will consider that 40 lakhs as short-term capital gain. And finally, you have that dividend which is taxed under the head income from other sources. See this, dividend from domestic companies fully taxable in hands of recipient with effect from AY 21-22 as DDT is not applicable. So that 20. So finally, what do you get as your gross total income / total income as per provisions of Income Tax Act? Did you get 1 crore 25 lakhs? Yes. Now what you do is take on your calci 1 crore 25 lakhs, multiply by 25%. So what is 1 crore 25 lakhs into 25%? It is 31 lakh 25,000. So on 31 lakh 25,000, you calculate surcharge at 7%. What is surcharge at 7%? It is 2 lakh 18,750. Very good. Add that both and tell me what is subtotal. 33 lakh 43,750. Now add health and education cess at 4% and tell me what is total tax liability. Total tax liability is 34 lakh 77,500. Getting it? And now you know already what is MAT. MAT is 37,55,700 and normal tax is 34,77,500. So what is payable? MAT or normal tax? MAT is payable. So there will be MAT credit. So MAT credit also we have calculated here. Because MAT is payable, there is a MAT credit. There is a MAT credit of the difference between the two. So that MAT credit is 2,78,200 rupees. Is every point totally clear to you with respect to computation of MAT? So we have not only done MAT, along with MAT, I have told you how to calculate tax liability of any company. And if you observe, I did not just say that pay normal tax or MAT, whichever is higher, but I told you the percentage of normal tax also, and we have revised percentage of MAT also. Not only that, we have revised also to calculate book profits. So are the points totally clear to you all? Very good. Fantastic. Is the batch being helpful for all of you? Yes, very good. Let's go to next now. That is your 115 QA. So in the end, we will recap that what all finally you have to do in taxation of companies. In the form of section numbers, we will recollect that. So next is 115 QA. First was 115 JB. Next is 115 QA. It is tax on buyback of own shares by domestic company. See, I am a domestic company. I am buying back my own shares at 60 lakh rupees. But originally they were issued at 10 lakh rupees. So actually, who is earning profit in this? For income tax to be charged, there should be profit, no? So actually, shareholders are earning profit in this. Yes, very good. Shareholders are earning profit in this. But government says, we will not collect tax from shareholders. We want to collect tax from the company on the profit earned by shareholders. Getting it? Bit awkward, but the earner of the income will not pay the tax. Who will pay the tax? The distributor of the income in this case. Got the point? So that in the shareholder's hand, we will exempt it fully. This tax is at 20% under this 115 QA on the profits earned by the shareholders. There is a surcharge of compulsory surcharge of 12%. So surcharge here is not depending on what is the total income of the company. Surcharge here also does not depend on what is the what you can say distributed dividend. Surcharge depends on the fact that you are distributing the tax income on buyback of shares. So directly when 115 QA is applicable, there will be applicability of surcharge. Is the point clear? In short, compulsory surcharge. Why I have said 2.4 here? Don't get confused. I am calculating effective rate here. So of 20, what is 12%? It's 2.4. So 22.4. And of course, you know, health and education says that 4% will follow. So what is 4% of 22.4? So if you take base of 100, then 20 is the tax, 2.4 is the surcharge, subtotal is 22.4, and health and education says is 0.896. So effective rate of tax is 23.296%. Is the point very clear to all of you? Okay. It is applicable with respect to listed as well as unlisted shares. Okay, the tax is charged on amount of profit distributed by the company on buyback. So what is the profit distributed by company on the buyback? Consideration paid for buyback of shares. So in my example, I paid 60 lakh rupees, but the issue price of share was say 20 lakh rupees. So what is the profit I'm earning on buyback? I'm earning, nahi, shareholders are earning 40 lakh rupees in total. So on 40 lakhs, tax will be paid at 23.296%. Is the point very clear to all of you? And it will become fully exempt in the hands of shareholders. They cannot tax same thing twice. And that tax should be paid within 14 days from the date of buyback. If not paid within 14 days, then for every day delay, mind you, for every day delay, there will be interest chargeable at the rate of 1% per month or part thereof. Is the point very clear to all of you? Let's see this example, okay? Before going to this solution, I'm going to put forward the question to you. We are going to do it on the Calci. Then let's move towards solution. On 10th May 2020, Rama Limited purchased its own shares, having face value of 10 rupees per share. Amount offered to shareholders was 80 per share. Total amount distributed by Rama Limited on buyback of 15,000 shares is 13,50,000. These shares were issued in year 7-8 at premium of 15. Okay, so till this point, we will read the question. You tell me how much tax will Rama Limited be liable to pay under section 115 QA. How to find it out? Understand. What is the total amount distributed by company on buyback of 15,000 shares? Each share is bought back at what price? Okay, 13,50,000. Very good. See, I'm getting different answers, but I'll tell you, it is 13,50,000. This amount. Anushya, did you get it? Anushya? Acha, 80 could have been the answer. You could have done 80 multiplied by 15,000 shares. So if you do 80 multiplied by 15,000 shares, you will get 12 lakh rupees. So you have either paid 12 lakh rupees or 13,50,000. This question is incorrectly drafted by the institute. So I think whatever you take, you will get the answer. Okay, because they only have contravent, or you can say oppose themselves. So anyways, I am taking 13,50,000 directly given figure. Yet, yes, correct. There should have been, but I have not corrected the question. I have kept it as it is. Because you should understand, rarest of the rare times such things may happen. So we will take 13,50,000. And can you tell me, for this 15,000 shares, how much would have been the issue price? How much would have been the issue price for this 15,000 shares? The face value is 10. Face value is 10, correct? But they were issued at a premium of 15. So the shareholder would have paid 25 rupees. So take on your calci, 25 multiplied by 15,000. Is it 3,75,000? Mansi, is it 3,75,000? So 3,75,000 is your issue price. So in short, all shareholders together had paid 3,75,000 and all shareholders together are getting 13,50,000. So what is the amount of profit that company is distributing to the shareholders? So 9,75,000 is the profit distributed by company to the shareholders. Check. So now it's time to calculate tax on this. So take 9,75,000 multiplied by what? 20%. Are you getting 1,95,000? Yes or no? Now plus, you do plus 12% compulsory surcharge and do plus 4% health and education cess, and tell me what is the tax liability. Check, it would be 227,136, 2,27,136. Now what you do is you round off to nearest of 10 under section 288B. So you will get 2,27,140. Yes. Did you understand? And now I have written note for the fact for that, incorrect thing done in the question. I have written note. And one more thing that I should tell you is that what will happen in the hands of shareholders? They have asked you that Kaka, one of the shareholders holding 1,500 shares, got rupees 1,35,000. Okay, determine tax consequence in the hands of Kaka. What will happen in the hands of shareholders? Now government has asked company to do so much hard work and company has paid the tax. So it will be fully exempt in the hands of Kaka. Did you understand? Can we go to the next provision for revision? Wow, how poetic. Next provision for revision. Okay, so 115 JB done, 115 QA done. Next. Now starts alternative tax regime. This alternative tax regime means it is tax to be paid by company by selecting these particular rates of tax. Are you getting the point? Means till now we discussed 30% / 25% as a normal rate of tax. Yes or no? One option is given to you. This option is alternative tax regime. Means you pay according to normal rates of tax or go for this alternative tax regime. So you will do whichever is more beneficial for you. Getting the point? You will do whichever is more beneficial for you. Did you get it? So understand. First is 115 BA. In alternative tax regime, this is the first section. 115BA. It is applicable for whom? Who may opt for this 115BA? Only and only manufacturing domestic companies. Under this, the rate of tax will be 25%. So see, in short, you understood that this will be beneficial for you only if your turnover in PY 18-19 exceeds 400 crores. Otherwise, anyways, your percentage is 25% only, isn't it? Did you get what I said? If in PY 18-19, your turnover is less than 400 crores, means it is not exceeding 400 crores, then anyways, what is your rate of tax? Anyways, your rate of tax is 25%. So you need not even look at this. You will look at this only if your turnover in financial year 18-19 exceeds 400 crores and you are a domestic manufacturing company. Conditions. SS is a domestic company. Company is not engaged in any business other than business of manufacturing or production of any article or thing and research in relation to such article manufactured by the company. The company has been set up and registered on or after 1st March 2016. So that is also one restriction or condition. Did you understand conditions till now? Okay, listen now. Yes, no? Yes, sir. Okay, now understand few more things. Will this concessional rate of tax come free of cost to you without sacrificing anything? So you have to sacrifice a lot of things. What you have to sacrifice? Total income of the company is computed without claiming. You have to sacrifice deduction of additional depreciation, deduction under 10AA, 32AC, 32AD, 33ABA, 35, 35AC, 35AD, 35CCC, 35CCD, 80H2, 80TT. All these special deductions you have to sacrifice for getting your tax rate reduced from 30% to 25%. Did you get it? I don't know how much it is beneficial practically, but as a student, you should know it, isn't it? Yes, no, you should know it as a student. Yes or no? Yes, and from exam perspective, so yes. Then total income should be calculated without adjusting brought forward loss from any earlier year if such loss pertains to deduction under the aforesaid sections. Moreover, such loss will not be carried forward. So you have to forget about such loss. And the option shall be exercised on or before due date for furnishing of first of returns of income which company is required to furnish. Once the company has exercised the option, it cannot withdraw. Getting it? So lifelong you will have to follow this unless the law changes. Okay. So this is your section 115BA. If you want, you may switch to 115BAA. We are going to learn that. What is 115BAA? And provisions of MAT shall continue to apply even if 115BA is opted. So will you be exempted from that applying provisions of MAT? Very important. Will you be exempted? No. Provisions of MAT continue to apply. उससे बख्श है क्या आपको? You cannot avoid those. In short, my dear friends, if you apply for 115 and if you opt for 115BA, then you will calculate first step total income by not considering these deductions. Second step, you will calculate tax at what percent? Compulsorily at 25% without considering turnover. then surcharge will continue to apply, and health and education cess. Third step, what will be third step? Third step will be book profits, and fourth step will be MAT, and you will pay whichever is higher. Very good. Getting all the tensions. What are there? You are not given benefits. You are not given benefits as it is. Okay. You are given benefits after a lot of sacrifices. So now let's see this example. See if you are able to understand it. XYZ X Limited is a manufacturing company. Very good. It was incorporated on April 1st, 2016. It opted for alternate tax regime under Section 115BA on September 30, 2017 by uploading Form 10IB. It is engaged in manufacture of cosmetic items for domestic market. So basically, manufacture of cosmetic items is important. When it started is also important. Incorporated on 1st April 2016. You know there was restriction that it should have set up and registered on or after 1st March 2016. So that is also satisfied. It gives following information pertaining to AY 21-22. Total income computed after taking all incentives and exemptions, out of which 1 lakh is LTCG and 50,000 is lottery winnings. So it is 20,60,000. Incentives which you are not going to take is 2,17,000. Deduction under 80JJAA is 10 lakh. And book profit is 30,40,000. Question is, determine amount of tax for assessment year 21-22. So in short, you have opted for 115BA. Now tell me, what will be your taxable income in such scenario? Yes, friends. What will be your taxable income in such scenario? Because first step is tax as per normal provisions. Now I would like to tell you, take on your calci 20,60,000. Did you take it? This 20,60,000 includes long-term capital gains of 1 lakh. So please minus that. It also includes lottery winning of 50,000, minus that. Now what is the figure you are getting? Now what is the figure that you are getting? Also minus 2,17,000. Why? Because you cannot claim it. So see, 2060 minus 270. Acha, if you do it this way, check, huh? No adjustment is required for 80JJAA. You know, no adjustment is required for 80JJAA. Okay, so I would tell you like this. First, calculate this total income, because do one thing, 1693 is actually a PGBP. In 1693, you add back 1,50,000. What is 1693 plus 1,50,000? Okay, 18,43,000. Acha. What you had done? 2060 minus 150, correct, na? Minus 217. Achha, you added, correct. You added 270. Yes. You have to add back 270. Yes. So anyways, we'll do it in this fashion only. Yes. Correct. So did you get 2077 as your total income? That total income already includes these things. 1,50,000. Fine. So we have to keep it added only. No problem. Get to 22,77,000. Now let's calculate tax on 2277. How to calculate tax? On long-term capital gains, you have to calculate at 20%. On winning from lotteries, you have to calculate at 30%. Yes, so that's what you have done. And on balance that is 22,77,000 minus 1,50,000. That is balance is 21,27,000. On that you calculate at 25%. It is 531,750. Did you get that? 531,750. Now take total. That's your total tax liability. There is no question of surcharge because your total income is not exceeding 1 crore. Now you will get subtotal. Same. On that, calculate health and education cess at 4%. And tell me what is your liability. Your total tax is 5,89,420. Isn't it? Now, understand. Calculate on book profits. This is tax as per normal provision. They have directly calculated book profit and given to you. 30,40,000. So do 30,40,000 into 15%. Plus 4% health and education cess. Yes, friends, what is it? Including health and education cess at 4%. It is 4,74,240. So what is finally tax payable? It is whichever is higher. So it is 5,89,420. I hope you have understood it. This was which section? This was 115 BA. Now let's see 115 BAA. Correct? Listen carefully. You have to see 115 BA, 115 BAA, then 115 BAB. I request all of you to be on mute. Yes, thank you so much. So I can see that few of the students are leaving. I don't know why. But anyways, it's very important for you all to stay back. I cannot control who leave and who stay back. But I can tell you this is very important. And you know that even if exams are postponed, we cannot postpone our preparations. Okay. So 115 BAB and did you get it? BA, BAA and BAB. Let's see what is BA. A. See, this has been applicable with effect from AY 2021. Okay. Rate of tax is 22% plus 10% surcharge. Yes or no? Plus health and education cess at 4%. So effective rate of tax if you check, and it's a compulsory surcharge of 10%. So 22 plus 10% of 22, that is 2.2. So 22 plus 2.2, 24.2 plus 4% of 24.2. So can you tell me what is effective rate of tax? 25.168%. Isn't it? Yes. But who may opt for this? I'll tell you, my dear friends, that we will do 115 BA, which we have already done, BAA, and then BAB, and then take a break. Correct? Because I want you to compare BA, BAA, and BAB. Okay. This is again a alternative tax regime only. This is second from alternative tax regime. So you can go for normal tax rates or these tax rates, whichever you feel is beneficial, subject to your falling in the conditions. Only condition is that SSE should be domestic company. Did you get the condition? No other condition. That means it should be in manufacturing or not. Nothing like that. It should be domestic companies. These incentives are not available. These incentives are not available. You know which incentives? Correct? And again, similar condition continues. So again, I'm not explaining you the similar conditions. Very important, different condition and favorable condition, that if you go for 115 BAA, then provisions of MAT are not applicable. Did you get it? Provisions of MAT are not applicable. Okay. Option of 115 BA is to be exercised on or before due date of filing the return, and once exercised, it cannot be withdrawn during remaining part of financial year. Sorry, it cannot be withdrawn actually in any subsequent year also. Did you understand? 115 BAA. Now comes 115 BAB. So what was major difference between BA and BAA? Two major differences, you tell me. 115, yes, very good. One of the very important differences, MAT. And no. Second important difference is 115 BA is only for manufacturing company. Fantastic. So all of you got this important point. Yes, both is for domestic companies. In 115 BA's case, that needs to be manufacturing company. In case of BAA, it may not be a manufacturing company. Got the point? And one more thing, when the date when the company was incorporated, that date doesn't matter in 115 BAA. That matters in BA. Okay. And of course, the rate of tax, there it was 25. Here it is 22 plus compulsory surcharge of 10% plus health and education cess at 4%. Fine. Let's go ahead. Now 115 BAB. Okay. The rate of tax here. What is the rate of tax? 15%. If it is income from manufacture or production of article or thing. See, it is now 15%. Income from non-manufacturing activities will continue to be taxed at 22%. Did you get the point? Short-term capital gains on transfer of depreciable assets, 15%. Short-term capital gains on transfer of non-depreciable assets, 22%. Excess profits added by assessing officer owing to close connection between company and other person, 30%. So very special item. And on special incomes like long-term capital gains, casual income like winning from lottery, etc., it will be at the rate prescribed under this act. In short, what I should keep in mind is this point. For manufacturing income, the special rate is 15%. And for non-manufacturing activities, it is 22%. Are you getting the point? Okay. Then, of course, income from non-manufacturing activities shall be calculated without any deduction or allowance. Very special point and very unique point. Why unique point? Whatever income from non-manufacturing activities you are calculating means, for example, you are having house property income. On that house property income, at what rate will you pay the tax? If your company has HP income, at what rate you will pay the tax on that HP income? Can you see on that HP income you will pay tax at 22%? While calculating that, can you claim deduction of municipal taxes? Can you claim deduction of interest on borrowed capital, standard deduction? The answer is no, because for non-manufacturing activities, you cannot claim any deduction. Okay. And whatever are the percentages above, the hidden condition is that the surcharge is at 10% on them, compulsory surcharge on all of them at 10%, irrespective of quantum of income. Did you get it? What is done in this section? Lot of asterisks and terms and conditions apply. Every tax here is increased by dash percent of that. So this is, even if it looks like 22, it is not 22, it is 24.2. I hope you got the catch. Even if this looks like 15, it is not 15, it is 15 plus 10% of 15. That is 16.5. Yes, compulsory surcharge of 10%. And of course, health and education cess will follow. Condition is that SS is a domestic company. And another important condition is that company has been set up and registered on or after 1st October 2019. So very new company. And it has commenced manufacturing or production of an article or thing on or before 31st March 23. The company is not engaged in any business other than business of manufacture or production. Okay, research related to manufactured product may be undertaken. Even its marketing and distribution may be undertaken. But other than manufacturing and its allied activities, it cannot start and do any other business. Business of manufacture that shall not be included. So these are 6 businesses which cannot be included. Go through them. An assessee should not at all use old plant and machine. And exception is there, 20% is okay. Company does not use any building previously used as hotel or convention center in respect to a deduction under 80 ID is claimed. So of course, after satisfying of all these conditions, you can get a special rate of 15% on your manufacturing activities. Isn't 15% very less than 25 or than 30? Yes or no? Of course. So don't you think they will ask you to satisfy a lot of conditions? And that's why these conditions you can see under this section 115BAB. Okay. Even these tax incentives are not available, which we have discussed, common point. No adjustment of any brought forward loss pertaining to these above sections. Under 115BAB, assessee company is required to opt for lower tax regime in the first year itself. First year itself means in the PY in which it is introduced, in that year itself. Getting it? And the option once exercised cannot be withdrawn. And thankfully, MAT is not applicable. After doing all these things, if you apply MAT, then it will be too much injustice on the company. Are you getting all the points? Yes. So now we will take a break. Okay. You just think about all these points. Could you repeat point number 9? Yes, absolutely. I can repeat point number 9. This, became applicable with effect from which AY? This became applicable from AY 2021. Yes. So from AY 2021 itself, you should opt for 115 BAB. Getting it? If in this year you lose the opportunity, you cannot at all opt for 115 BAB. So don't think that after PY 1920, you can set such company and opt for 115 BAB. Why? Because I will tell you. No, actually you can, but in the first year, when you are getting registered, you should opt for 115 BAB. Correct? And there's a sunset clause. Sunset clause is 31st March 23. Means if you are planning to take such concession of 15% for lifetime, on or before 31st March 23, you should set up the company and start the business. Is the point clear? So I've given you the example also in this scenario that in PY, on 6 December, the company has got incorporated. That means in which PY? That means in PY 2021, it has got incorporated. That is before 31st March 23 and after 1st October 2019. Yes. Now in the PY 2021, when it has started business, that is relevant to AY 21-22, you should opt for 115 BAB. If you don't opt for 115 BAB, then can you change your mind in PY 21-22? Even if you change your mind, there is no use, you cannot opt for it in subsequent year. Clear? So I have concised all important points here. Did you get each one of the point? Still many things remaining in this particular taxation of companies. Those we will continue after the break. Please come back at, it is 20:43. In 2 minutes, we will revise what we have done till now. Please come back at exactly 9 o'clock. Okay, come back means don't leave the meeting. I'm keeping the meeting open and I'm keeping the timer open. At exactly 9, you should be back. Then in next 1 hour, we can complete all the things. Okay, and we'll do one thing. We'll not revise anything now. At the end of the session, today's session, we will revise all the sections quickly once. Okay? Chalo then, see you exactly at 9 o'clock. Those who are watching on YouTube or those who are watching recorded session, please don't leave the video. Just take it 15 minutes ahead. You will start the video, resume again. Thank you for now.